Good morning. Welcome to our live talk program. This is Lloyd Grubb here, your host on Revive Reform Radio, doing our live talk program covering current events on your Thursday morning, Rise and Shine. Current events this morning here we're looking at as we do our live talk program here from Monday through Friday. And this morning topic is having a mission and be serious about it. Having a mission and be serious about it in light of some of the current events that are going on around us. And so we want to be able to have that mission, and we want to be serious about that mission that we have, whatever that mission is. We want to be serious about it. So this is our live talk program for this morning here as we do our current events. And I pray that God may continue to bless you as we do this. So let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, we thank thee again, dear Lord, for your love, for your mercy, and for your continued guidance in our lives. I pray that you may be with us, dear Lord, as we study together, look at these things that are happening and take lessons from them, that we might make the moves that you would have us to make to be upon the mission that you have us to be upon. May you bless us, dear Lord, as we contemplate and study. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. So again, we're looking at this topic, have a mission and be serious about it. Have a mission and be serious about it. It is something that over and over again, it is encourage us to be serious about whatever our mission is, whatever the task that we are put on this earth to do. Be serious about it. Don't make that task go by, or life goes by, and you are not about your task. And I'm looking at this in light of what's been happening in the nation when it comes on to various different things, whether it be the tax reform that just had passed, or whether it be the immigration stuff that's going on, or just in general the stuff that goes on in church, where the religious elite, they take care of their own and they take care of their business. So you have to be serious about your business and your mission, and make sure you're taking care of yourself the way you're supposed to take care of yourself. And because that's what Christ teaches us. Now we find this idea here in Luke chapter 2 verse 46 through 50. Luke chapter 2 verse 46 through 50. And it says here, and it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, being both hearing them and asking them question. And all heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my father's business? And they understood not the saying which he spake unto them. So must we see not that I must be about my father's business. This would be our mantra, so to speak, our anthem, our aim, our modus operandi, or whatever. Should be how we function. We must be about our father's business. We must be serious about whatever we're doing, and don't get distracted. Because when we not about the business and we're about fun and games and we're about all this other stuff that people talk about, you run into some serious problem, and you realize real quickly that everybody's really worried about themselves, and you need to worry about whatever the mission your father put you up to do. That's what the mission you need to be taking care of. Notice here at 12, Christ was already about his father's mission. At 12, he was you could tell this was a test of what had happened for the last 12 years. This was almost like, you put a scale on him. And you say, let's test and see how the first 12 years of the Son of God on the earth is doing. And after 12 years, when they tested him, and not just test with a simple test, it's a massive test here. They tested him with the doctors and with those that were run about. So these are the brightest minds in Israel. These were those that were sitting around the temple. We know that they understand things not just from your basic philosophy and religion, but other things. These are men that would have studied for many years, and they're hearing him talk. So that means he's not just asking questions, but he's talking and asking them questions. And questions can be very powerful because question can be a barometer of a grasp that you have. In order for me to ask a certain question, I must be able to have a concept of what I'm talking about to be able to ask that question, to be able to even come up with a question. And at 12, he was about his father's business already. He was, notice it says here, they were astonished at his understanding and answers. So not just he was asking questions, he was giving answers. And they were astonished. Normally, you're astonished. That means it's a level of bewilderment. You just don't get what's going on. To hear a 12-year-old talk about that, just imagine most 12-year-olds probably would be at the beach with a little shovel, a little bucket, or they're running around having a little fun and they playing little games and messing about with their toys. And this 12-year-old is basically shocking doctors, is bewildering doctors. You can see real quickly that it must be about his father's business. So this is a statement of how spiritually serious Christ was. Because if at 12 he's like this, then if you added another 18 years of learning and understanding and interacting to his life, then you could see what the problem is, that everybody was, they were concerned, if you want to call it, about their place and their position. And he was a threat to their system, because now if he astonished them at 12, then at 30, that would be like bewildering. It must be had been something to even hear Christ spoke in a way that even children could get him at 30, going on as he go through those 3.5 years of ministry, where it is shocking at the same time, but a child say, yeah, I got that. I got what he's saying. That's just the level of shockingness, if you want to call it that Christ is or was and will be. And so it's important for us to take note from Jesus Christ about how serious you are and how serious even your children are supposed to be when it comes on to being about your father's business and their father's business. And so I'm looking at this in light of what's happening in our nation, because if you notice here, you'll have, especially for those of us who are immigrants, we came from other places, they'll tell you, oh, assimilate, oh, you need to be part of us. But when it's time for them to chop you off with an axe, they'll do it. And so if you're not about your business and about taking care of what you need to take care of and building what you need to build, if that chop comes, you're going to get caught surprise. And you don't want to be in that situation. So you want to apply that. You have to take care of your business. Just like how the multi-billionaires and the lobbies, they're making sure using their money to take care of their business. You have to be serious about your business. And that to me is the main lesson to learn from all what's going on, all the different things that are happening. Be serious about your father's business. Be serious about taking care of your business. Because when you take care of your business, you'll be all right. Others now who are being shocked and puzzled, some of the information is shocking and puzzled, but some of it is a yarn. You know it was going to happen. You know it's coming because you live around the people, you know how they are. So, you're like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It's just a matter of time. So you be about your business while everybody's having fun and games and they can't understand why you're serious. Why you're taking care of business, because it's a lot of business I have to take care of. I have my mental state to take care of. I have my house to set in order. I have my social life to deal with. I have my home business to take care of. I have my health to take care of. So I'm serious about those business. While everybody's worried about, insurance and stuff like that. Just take care of your business. Take care of your business. Take care of your health. Don't be sitting there thinking that you're going to get that insurance and your doctor is going to fix you or patch you up. As they say, they couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. Well, today they can probably try to sew Humpty Dumpty up. But even when they sew him up, he's just a patchwork. It's not going to be the same self. So verse 49 again, for your encouragement, it says, and he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business? And they understood not the saying which he spake unto them. And today, still people don't understand the saying. So was Christ a Jew? Yes. Was he here to save Jews and Gentiles and everyone? Yes. But why is he saying to them, which is not about my father's business? Is this his father's business also taking care of the people? Yeah. But when it comes on to taking care of your father's business, be serious about your business, it is important for you to note that you're taking care of really the people. It's really the people's business, but it's not the people's business in the sense that they don't care about that business. So I hope you get that. You probably don't get that. It's a twist of the mind. And I recently had done a program here where I talk about who really truly loves the American people. Because if you go to the American people, they'll say, oh no, it is the movie stars and those people, it's the politician. They wouldn't look at you and me and say we love them more than their fellow even citizen, their family member. I've even had discussion with people and I say, look, I'm gonna tell you something, I love you and take care of you more than your family member. I remember somebody looked at me and said, somebody said to me, well, yeah, that might be true, but it's a shame. It's a shame. These people often don't know what is good for them. So here, when Christ said, we see that must be about my father's business, it might sound bad. It might sound, is he not Jewish? Doesn't he care for the Jewish people? Doesn't he love the Jewish people? But he did. He loved them more than they loved themselves. But what he wants for them, they didn't want for themselves. You see, they wanted kingly authority and power and a kingdom and all that stuff. But what he came to do for them was more than all of that. And so that's why it's very serious for you to understand when you have that mission that the Lord has put you up to do. Just be about your mission. Take care of your business. Because that's the only way the people are going to be blessed. The things that they're fighting for to bless them is not going to work. And in particular, I'm thinking, like with this immigration thing, you watch what's happening. They're going after the illegals. They're going after the DACA. They're going after the TPS. The TPS visas, the people who came here because of disasters in their country. I see that, say for instance, myself as a person who not born in America, I'm not too far down the road. And somebody said, why would you say that? Because if you're trying to make America great again without dealing with the true things that Jesus would deal with to bless a country, and you're just making a scapegoat and you're saying the reason why we're suffering here in America is because of these illegals. After you've gotten rid of all of them, you're going to find that you still didn't deal with the underlying cause for a country to go down morally, spiritually, financially. So then sooner or later, you're going to go after whoever next in line because you're just going to keep finding scapegoats. And as we know, the Bible predicts that then sooner or later, they're going to even turn on those people who are moral, those who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. But before they even get to those people, I'm down on the list because I'm black from a foreign country. And so it's easy to go after somebody like that. And that's history always proves this to be true, because we think about like what happened in the time of Germany and other places and other historical events like that. In the time of Hitler, you think about it's the same idea. You keep basically, you have enough people that could basically work to stop the madness. But each of them looking and saying, well, yeah, I'm guaranteed probably if you go to many people who are Hispanic, they will say, well, yeah, we got to get rid of those illegals, because they can see how quickly that can turn and go ugly. And then the hate is just generally for them also. They think, oh, we good, we in. And this is what people always think is like, well, it's probably they're going after the poor Jew. And then when they finish with the poor Jew, they come for the rich Jew. And then when they finish with the rich Jew, they shall come for all the dissenters that are German. And next you know, they just basically do a clean house. But you don't think the house can come and it can clean after you also. So it's important that you see what's going on and you know that this is how stuff works. And we have enough history to not make hysterical statement, but to make level-headed statement. That you got to take care of your own business, because when you're sleeping on a job, stuff will happen and they'll come at you too. And people always, talking about jobs, it happen in jobs all the time. People see they're doing certain things and they say, well, it's those guys. And next thing you know, they do it to them. Look what's happening in America right now. The person at the top keep getting pay rise and they keep getting taken care of. People who are politically connected keep getting jobs and getting taken care of. But the lower workers, they're not getting taken care of. But if you go to the lower workers and you say, let me ask you this, who are Americans? Oh, well, we too. Are you really Americans? Because the rich people think they're the only people that's worthy of tax breaks and, all that trickle down theory stuff that they talk. So they're really for you. But people don't see it like that until they come and crush them. Also, I think there's a famous statement by, or saying by, I think this famous historical figure in America called Malcolm X. Malcolm X says the syndromes, the house nigger syndrome, he called it. He said the house nigger think he's good until the master basically ready to beat him up. Also, something like that. I don't remember exactly how he said it. It's this idea here that you think, oh, you're in the house, so you're good. But remember, most of these light-skinned black Americans came out of the house niggers, womb, if you want to call it like that. Basically, master was in there sleeping with them, and so forth and so on. It you might be doing a little bit better, but you're not really much better. And so people don't get that. So you must be about your father's business and understand these folks, they're not for anybody. They're just for themselves. Now in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 23 to 27, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 23 to 27, it says here, and this I do for the gospel, that I may be partakers of it with you. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth a prize? So run that you may obtain. And everyone that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. So everyone, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're going to be in any athletic sports, Paul is saying here, you be temperate in all things. It becomes the more you take it to a level of discipline. No matter what you're doing in life, whether it be sports or business or life, or you're just running a race of life and you understand who the enemies are and so forth and so on. You're in battle as a soldier. You have a better chance of succeeding when you're temperate, literally having self-control in all things. When you go to sleep, how much water you drink. You have to get it down to a science. The person who gets it down to a science can outrun a person that is naturally gifted but sloppy. That's just the reality. Now, if the person who is naturally gifted takes it and makes it down to a science, they blow everybody out of the water. That's the point. And so you have to be temperate in all things. Why is that? Before I finish this passage, let's just think here. Now, think about, again, because we want to learn lessons from this because, as I say, our time is coming. Because some of us have one target on our back, some of us have multiple targets. We have to be honest with ourselves. If just think about if, say, one of these TPS people from, Honduras or El Salvador or wherever, El Salvador, and say the ones that were partying, having fun, trying to be American, going to all the basketball, baseball games, blah blah, blowing their money, drinking, partying, and now the Trump administration comes and announces and say, you guys gotta go. And we're giving you a few months to get out of here. Those that were just funning in games and didn't discipline themselves and didn't do the right thing, they're panicking because they're not prepared. The ones that made the preparation, they're in a better situation because they were working, they were probably going to their church, keeping their heads down, focusing on what they want to do, taking care of their family, so forth and so on. Probably started a business, making some money. So at least if push comes to shove, they probably have a house to sell, a business to sell. They have something to fall back on. They have a fallback plan, so to speak. Those are just, basically loafing and wasting time and not trying to get an education, get a trade, do this, do that, discipline themselves. They're going to be in a bind. So that to me comes back to this idea: have a mission and be serious about your mission. Because when you're there and you're not being temperate in all things, when you're just there and you're loafing around and joking around and whatever, when stuff goes down, you're always going to be more in a bind. I can think about somebody that's living off the system. They're probably making some money, but they're making some money on the table or whatever, but they're not taking care of their business. And see a storm come and blow their house down. Happens all the time. None of us is protected, or we all susceptible to this. And this person has some money in the bank, they have some fallback plan, they have a stable job, whatever. They're gonna do better than the person that's basically living hand to mouth. Um, and that's just the reality. And don't have no assets, no fallback plan, no nothing. No insurance. You saw that happen in New Orleans. Many people didn't have an insurance policy. It happened in Houston, it happened in Florida, it happened all over the place. People, you're just surprised. Most people can get an insurance policy for a few $100s a year, and a few $100s to protect an asset that's normally valued at an average of $200,000. I think that's worth it, but most people don't. And so when the trouble come, you get flat-footed and taking care of your own business. So Paul says he disciplined himself because he's striving for the mastery. Verse 26 says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. In other words, we have to be aware of what's happening around us. We have to be aware of what the Bible teaches, what the prophecy teaches, because we're not fighting, we're not beating the air. There's people who will see us and we very serious about our health, very serious about learning about natural remedies, very serious about doing church, not being in any of these mainline corrupt denominations. We're serious about taking care of our own business in various different aspects. You see me doing the radio station here, all this other stuff, and something like, why you take this type of stuff so serious? Because that must be about my Father's business. And the more I see these things happening, the more kind of light the fire, and my buttocks and tell me, move faster. You need to go take this thing more serious, because you need to take care of your business. Because number one, you have one go around. We all have one go around here. We don't have 9 lives. We're not cats. Cats don't have either. But we have one go around. And, in many situations in life, you don't get to take the test twice. You take the test once. Like the story with the Hebrew boys, or the story with Daniel. This is a one-time shot. So be serious about it. So we don't beat the air. We understand. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a cast away. So as I'm sitting here, I'm talking. One of the first things I woke up this morning, I was thinking about going camping. Not this time of the year, though, because my mind at the end of the day, I just need to always know how to live like a refugee. Somebody say, why would you want to learn to live like that? It's just part of this issue here. Just live like a refugee. I need to know how to be able to cook on some wood and stuff like that. Be able to tough it. And some people are like, no, I can't live like that. No, well, you stayed here. You're beating the air. Matthew chapter 24, verse 45 through 51. So for those of who had made those preparation or take care of their business, great. But for those others, it will be a surprise. And surprise are not good. A surprise are okay when, you don't expect anything. You couldn't even prepare for it. That's okay. But to me, surprises are kind of painful when you know and you don't do. When you've been around people, you know how they are, they'll basically sabotage you. That's basically how human beings are. They'll sabotage you. So you got to make that preparation. You got to know, this could happen. Matthew 24, verse 45 to 51 says, who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord had made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Now, this meat, I think it's meat, what I'm giving here this morning. This is one of those seasons. Would I talk about this 5 years ago? Probably not. As a matter of fact, not, because my understanding of prophecy would make me not talk about it. Normally, the liberals, when they come in power, they just worry about sexual sin and drugs and that type of stuff they focus on. When the conservative come in power, they always come and do this type of stuff. They like to oppress people. So it's just the season, and you see the results. I can say this, and you can see the cycle go back and forth. If the cycle switch again, you more hear me talking about moral issues, on the lifestyle choices. Now in this season, this is what we talk about. So we go back and forth, and so that we know the prophecy states that the bottom is going to fall out when the conservatives are in power. That's how the prophecy is very clear about. So due season. Need to know. So when this happen, take note. Watch. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Notice, it's better you in the process, even if you're not fully there. So you have a plan, you're working on a plan. And so your plan is not mature, but you're working on the plan, you're in the process. It's better to be caught in the process than to be not even try to execute a plan or don't have a plan. There's many people who they're grown adults, they're married, they're doing whatever, and you ask them, what's your plan for your family? Plan? I didn't know. I just got married. That's all. I just live with my spouse. There need to be a plan. Yeah, it's an institution. Marriage is an institution. You gotta have a plan. Just like what's the plan for the church? Your church is an institution. You gotta have a plan. So you always have a plan. What's the plan? What do you plan? Where you plan to be with your family in how many years? What are you planning to do? Just have a plan. Even if the plan is not the greatest plan, it's a plan. You're working on something. So when your master come, the master say, were you about my business? I say, yeah, master. Didn't get to the full combination of the business because you came early, but I'm okay, show me what you've been doing. So here's what I've been doing, master. This is the plan, and I've been working on it. And I'm just 10% of the way. I would commend you myself. At least you started on your road. So verse 47 says, verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his good. So he find him so doing. So he say, hey, look, you're working on the plan. God bless you. And shall begin to, and so, but if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayed his coming, I shall begin to smite his fellow servant and to eat and drink with the drunken. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So when we apply again this thing, then we know that if this administration come into power, before they came into power, do we know that there's going to be some tax changes, there's going to be some immigration changes, there's going to be more hate for minorities, all that stuff. Yeah, so you make your plan. Now notice here, even though we know some of this stuff seems shocking, and this is where people will say, well, we don't know the hour, the day or the hour of Christ come. True. But we know the signs, and we know that what's going to happen before he comes. So you still prepare. Not knowing the day or the hour coming is not an excuse not to take care of your business. Not knowing exactly how things are going to play out, because some people say, well, some things are clear in the Bible, how things are going to be. Some things are not very clear. Sure. But you work from what is known. You can't worry about the unknown. The unknown is always going to come as a surprise. You work from what is known. If the Bible is, tells you, hey, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and you see evidence that, yeah, this really could happen that way, you work off that. So we know that this is the type of stuff that's going to happen. So we're not surprised. You just know that you got to be able to take care of business. Now, notice what it says here. If that evil servant shall say this, my Lord delayed is coming, and shall smite his fellow servant. So you know that's going to come. Because people say, well, why will you do church the way you do it? Because I know that the fellow servant's going to try to smite me. So I have to be able to prepare for that. I'm going to try to smite back. And I've learned over the years that if you're in a certain situation, they'll make you feel like you want to smite them back. So what you have to do is get out of the way. And over the years, just being away from certain, the mainline organization has given me an opportunity to just do my thing. And not have to worry about smiting back or be smitten. And I accept my punishment in the wilderness. I really believe in the church in the wilderness. Praise the Lord. You get to get some buffer away from the persecution of these Pharisees and Sadducees, these liberals and conservatives in the church. And notice here, to eat and drink with the drunken. So this is what the servant is doing. So when his Lord comes, he's shocked. Now, if you flip that now, and hopefully I'm not, flipping too hard here, but flip with me here. If you flip that and apply again now to some of these TPS visa people who they hear the things, and say for the last year or 2 years, they've been hearing all these guys say, we're going to kick you out, blah, 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 blah. Wouldn't you think at that point you say, you know what, man? I don't know when this thing is going to hit because we don't know the day or hour, just making the application or the connection. But you know what happened? The next 2 years, I'm going to work full time and I'm going to work part time and I'm going to work overtime. I'm going to probably not even sometimes pay my bills. I'm going to save everything I can because I got to get prepared for my exit. Because I know this is coming. I can hear the masses, the American citizens want this. This is what they want. They want me out of here. Because they want those jobs. As a matter of fact, yesterday I think it was, or no, it was announced I think yesterday, but I think either yesterday happened or Wednesday morning I think it happened, or before, but they did raids on 100 or over 100 7-Elevens. So say you were part of that raid, but you had made your preparation because you know this was coming. You didn't know the day or the hour when it was going to be your time, but you know it was coming. So if you know it was coming, you get prepared. So when the hit come, you already were prepared. You already were working some overtime. You're telling your 7-Eleven boss, hey, look, any free time you have, any opening you have, let me work it, okay? And they say, what? Don't worry about it. Say, when you going to sleep? Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about sleep now. When they deport me, I'll get sleep. You know? And you just go ahead and work that overtime and save up your money and get prepared. So when they put that cuff on you, it's like, you know, because I think they said 21 people were arrested. So if say one of them were the 21 people, but they're prepared, but they didn't know the day or the hour, they're in a better situation. The others who didn't prepare, they were like shocked. Like, man, they're kicking us out. Because basically what they're saying is that, look, we need to put Americans back to work. And one of the ways to put Americans back to work is basically to fire or deport or get rid of all these illegals. And not only get rid of illegals, because I say it comes up the line. Because, and it's not going to work. Because it is, the Bible is very clear. God's blessing is upon the rich when they take care of the poor. This is just too clear. You know, I'll publicly discuss this with anybody. You show me the Bible where God's blessing is when you deport and beat up the strangers, especially people from war-torn areas and areas where disasters are hitting, violent areas. How is that going to make the nation greater? And as we see, the disasters don't stop. Every week there's a new disaster. So the economy is being drained. Even if you put everybody back to work, it still doesn't matter, because you got to be a Christian. You got to be nice. You got to do to others as you like them to do to you. So anyhow, when you look at this, you look at it, be the hour, or their hour, you don't know, but you know it's coming. So the Bible said, because there's a delay, don't get comfortable in the delay, because remember when January 20th came last year, those deportation orders could have gone into effect, and they started going into effect. So say nothing happened, and say you listen to me here, and you know somebody. Look, shake them up and say, hey, wake up. If you don't have your stuff in line, you need to start working as hard as you can to buy yourself a parachute, because they're going to grab you and kick you out the plane. If you don't have a parachute, you're going to have a hard landing. And parachute still going to have to land. But at least if you land, you don't know how to land good with a parachute, at least you probably hurt yourself, but not too bad. Get yourself a parachute. Prepare. And as you see they clamp down, then the more they're clamping down, you don't know the day or hour you're clamping down coming. But if it doesn't come, God bless you. If it comes, hey, I'm prepared. And for then, if after they clean up all those people, they clean up the TPS, they clean up the stuff, I believe the next group of people that will be going after is they'll start clamping down on people that's legally. And then when that doesn't work, and still America is not being great, I think the citizens are going to cry out and say, we need to probably start getting rid of all these people that are probably not born here, and so forth. And that will work. None of this will work, but the Bible predicts it won't work. Because you can't keep doing what God says you should not do, and then believe that says it's going to work because you're being harsh. because what we need is a strong, harsh person in the presidency that's going to look out for America. That's not the way to do it. But it might seem to work because at least he's giving the people what they want. It's what Americans want, and that's what they give them. So the Lord says he will appoint you your position with a hypocrite. So this is to me his how I learned the lessons. I'm just taking the lessons and learning them. Now, Matthew chapter 7, verse 2 through 6. So this idea here is that if you understand that they don't take it that says people will turn on you too. Because you know that the basic human nature that's working here is number one, self-preservation. Self-preservation is always can be a great thing, but it can be a terrible thing. You know, you have to do things to preserve yourself, but people can become so self-preservation focused that they start to hurt others. They start looking out for they're trying to hurt people who are being hurt. Notice the American public now is saying, let's hurt the poor people amongst us. They're not thinking, well, probably the big companies and the big CEOs are the problem. So self-preservation can get you also twisted. If you go in the headline this morning, you see that Carrier, the heating and cooling company, they're laying off more workers in Indiana. Because what happened, they can get more money. They can make more money when they're sending jobs to Mexico and other places, and then import back the stuff into America. So they're not worried about the American worker. So again, but the people focus is that, well, what's making America broke is these immigrants. But remember, self-preservation is one of the mechanism that's working. The second mechanism is basically jealousy. The person see this person over here working hard and they say, I want that job. And if you listen to some of the people who have talked in the past, they say they want the jobs, especially they want the tech jobs is the next set of jobs they want. Because they really don't want the 7-Eleven jobs. Because who wants that? They don't want the jobs cleaning poop from cattle, the dairy industry, killing chicken. What they want is the big jobs. So the Indians have that, so they're coming next. So anyhow, if you look at this, don't play yourself and think, oh no, this can't happen to me. Because if you understand, a lot of this is just the person, they're in need, and they like, look, just take from these people. Because, I saw Americans were saying, hey, look, that's 200,000 jobs that these TPS workers, people from El Salvador has, and we could get those 200,000 jobs for us, for white American, black American. So this is what they're saying. So if you understand, so some of these people, they have had kids here, they have house, they have business, they have so forth. And the ones that are working, I'm sure they're working hard. I'm sure some of them probably, I don't know if they're on the system, but there's people working hard. And for most of the people I know that came here, they came here working hard. They but there's many people in America think that if you are immigrant and you're doing well for yourself is because the government have special loans for you, the people somehow you got this because you're immigrant. You didn't work hard for it. And so people can get very jealous real quick because they see you living in a certain house, driving a certain car, doing well for yourself, and they might think, oh man, you probably something wrong. Now understanding is just, I remember years back I was dealing with this guy, and he was from one of the Middle Eastern country. I can't remember if it was Iran or Saudi Arabia. And I was saying, wow, the house you're buying is quite expensive. It's going to eat up most of your expendable income. And he said, Lloyd, yeah, but I don't live. He said, I go away for trade shows in Las Vegas. And I see people at a slot machine, but I never played a slot machine. I'm not living like that. So whatever I'm making, I just use it for certain things. I'm not into certain entertainment. And I always remember that I'm thinking, wow. Even to this day, I remember his name. I won't say it. And I'm thinking, wow, yeah, that makes sense. Because I always try to advise people when I was doing that type of business to make sure that you give yourself enough cushion. But you were saying, I don't need as much cushion because I don't live that type of lifestyle. But, if a person living fun and games lifestyle and they see somebody hunkering down, being faithful to what they're doing, they'll be like thinking, you're not working hard for it. I'll be like, if you're going to do what I'm going to do, then you should have what I have. Matthew chapter 7, verse 2 through 6 says, "For with what judgment ye mete, ye shall be judged, and with what measure you mete, it shall be measured to you again." Remember, I read, I think it was Tuesday, that when you do not hear the cries of those who are crying, God will not hear you when you cry. And so, as the pain increases, as the disasters increase, the question is, will God hear the cries of people who don't hear the cries of those who are crying? I remember when they first announced this, I went on the USA Today and I was reading the article, and the first comment when they announced that they're going to get rid of more the TPS people, the first comment, somebody said more storms are coming. And you think, why would a person say that? Is this person a prophet? No, he's just probably being logical. He's just saying, hey, look, these people came here because storms destroyed their country, and we extend the olive leaf and we gave them a warm welcome. Now we're saying, get out of here because you're good. You should be good. So when we cry, do we expect to be cried? For our cry to be heard? You see, do unto others as we like them to do unto us. Christ says, you pray for those as you pray for yourself. I forgive God. God, I forgive those who did me wrong. So I ask you to forgive me for what wrongs I've done. That's the simple, basic Bible principles. But yet we notice most of these decisions to hurt the stranger is coming out of the Bible Belt. Very fascinating. So verse 3 says, "And why beholdest thou the mote in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thy own eye?" So as we consider this on either side, what's going on, we have to be able to pull back, like what I'm trying to do here, and saying, I need to take care of my business. I need to be about my mission. I need to be serious about my mission. Because you have a problem, I have a problem, but I can't ignore my problem. I have to know that my problem is real also. See, we applied, people always use this text, judge that you not be judged. Okay. No. You reflect back your judgment on yourself. And make sure that you're in that position where what happened? What if? Because remember, it's told, and what makes it very clear that people will be exiled from the United States because they believe in the Ten Commandments and because they have the faith of Jesus Christ. And that statement is, when she made it, she's not saying black people or white people or whatever. She's just saying, if you believe in the commandments and you have the faith of Jesus Christ, you will be. And if you don't see what's happening, we're developing for that, because the evangelicals are one way and then the liberals are another way. In other words, if you believe in the Ten Commandments, you're the enemy of the liberals, because they pro everything immoral and wicked. If you believe in the commandments, you're one way, because look, I would be probably the biggest enemy of evangelical, because every point that I stand and they're the opposite. They're pro-Israel, pro beating up the poor people, pro multi-billionaires, pro kicking out the strangers. Just everything. You get the point of a point of a point. They will see me as target. So I'm not their target right now, but I have to know my days number. But I'm not on their radar. At least not fully, because I'm not on the radar. I'm kind of over here in my little corner. So I'll be like their number one enemy, because I'm an immigrant, at least immigrant citizen. It goes. I'm black. Believe in the commandment. I'm pro Jesus. I believe in taking care of the stranger. Believe in being kind, even to your dogs and cats. So, you're like, wow, there's no issue that I'm not in trouble. Vegan, believe in a moral life, believe in self-control, just everything that is, they see it as works and all that type of stuff. So this, so you understand. You look at it, you say, I'm not too much better off than those immigrants. Even though my status might not be like that, but I'm not too much better off because of the stance and the lifestyle that I live. And the way I do independent church, it's easy to label you as offshoot and crazy. Man, you go down the list. So you have to start thinking, what's my fallback plan? And although I really believe that me is my fallback plan, that's what I've worked on over the years. Just I can survive. That's it. Just that's it. I can live in the bush and eat the bush. Verse 4 says, "Or wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull the mote out of thine eyes, and behold, a beam is in my eyes." So it doesn't mean that we're not concerned with our brother and we're not worried about the mote that is in our brother's eyes. But we take this, the flip kind of what Christ is saying here, and just simply look at it and say, you must be about your mission and be serious about it. This is what I'm saying here to you this morning. It's not that you're not concerned with the mote in your brother's eye, but you have a bigger problem. And so when you have a bigger problem, you got to be about your father's business. You got to know that says, my problem is bigger. Because it's not like I can go over there to the liberals and they're going to be like loving me because I don't believe that two men or two women should be in a marriage. So they're not going to be for me. I'm not into their video games and their movies and stuff like that. So I have a bigger target. It's just that says I'm not part of the target right now. But as things keep going forward and they keep eliminating their enemies, then after a while it becomes a process of elimination. Like, who you? And what do you stand for? I don't stand for much in the sense of I'm not for most of what you're for. I'm actually literally against that, and I don't live like that. And then you become a target. So you understand. So I see the people around, but I'm like, if you open your mouth, then they'll realize, oh, if they know about your lifestyle, they realize, oh, so you're not into all this kind of sadistic, crazy stuff. Nope. Don't believe in it. So you focus on that beam and you realize, you see, my days are numbered. Now, thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Give not that which is holy unto dogs, and this is to me the same line of reasoning. Give not that which is holy unto dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. And so more and more I've learned to just try to work with those who want to hear. That means, like, I'm here, you hear because you want to be here, I think, or you're passing through. I don't know which one. Spend most of my time talking to those who want to hear it. I'm not into this casting pearls before swine's business. You used to try to be talking to people who don't want to hear. I don't have time for that stuff. I'm just telling the truth. I don't do that. So I limit that as much as possible. When I realize it's a swine, I don't be wasting my time with swines. Very important, because I must be about my mission and I must be serious about it. I must know what my mission is. Now, my process and my plan and preparation might not be the same as yours, but I'm about my mission. At least this is what I think. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10 through 12. So you get busy doing something, studying something, learning something. And no matter what situation you're in, you're always just moving. Because it's going to happen. You just don't know when. You don't know the hour or the day, but you know it's going to happen. Because you have enough evidence to prove that it was going to happen. That what the Bible said will happen. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10 through 12 says, For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any man would not work, neither should he eat. For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies. And now them that are such we command and exhort to our Lord Jesus Christ, that with quietness they work and eat their own bread. With quietness they work and eat their own bread. I really believe this. You got to hunker down. You got to quiet down, as I say. Even if you say you lost a job, go get a book. Go volunteer. Go do something. Get a skill. To me, always, the biggest fallback plan is always to have a skill. Because guess what happens? If you have a skill, you can do something, you always have a fallback plan. If they grab you and you can't get in and they freeze your account because they say you made this money illegally, and we're going to take this money and put it into the Americans' bank to take care of Americans, because that's what they're doing. Because that's what the American people really want. They want to take all the value and everything, the jobs and everything these people have, and they want it. Great. I have no problem with that, because they have the vote. It's part of the game you play. You're in somebody's country. They can play the game they want in you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you don't get too worried about that part. What you know is, I say, especially to me, if you have a skill, you have a task you can do. That's your number one. Because you could have 10,000, $100,000, probably less if it's $1 million. And this concept here, what I'm going to say next. And if you say you get exiled, get kicked out, deported, whatever, that money is going to run out sooner than later. It's good to have something to drop back. But if you have a way to make money, you have a way to keep the money coming in. So you're still in a position, especially if you can be entrepreneurial. That means you can just start out of nothing. That's a very important skill to have, an ability. Because you have a fallback plan. Having some methodology of earning a little living is something good, especially a skill. Not just a career, but a skill. Or a career that is a skill. Very important. And so that's to me is number one of the things I would think to do. You have an ability to do something. Because if that happens, then you have to worry. As I said, you could know somebody and tomorrow they're gone. And they have no time to even settle up their business, do what they have to do to just grab them. They can't sell what they have to have, blah, 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 blah. And probably the only fallback plan is that they were probably working, even if they had a TPS visa, they were working in a store and they had a skill and they can literally fall in the country and fall on their 2 feet in the sense of they could start working and they have a skill that is a marketable skill. Very important. So watch this now. So it says here just simply, just quiet and do your own thing. Some people it's about fun, games, whatever. This text here important again in just the same idea of focus. You have to have a focus, you have a mission. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12 and 13, say all things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. It's not the time to be on the drugs, alcohol. It's not the time to do things that are, they might be okay, but time for that. It'll be about the business, about the mission. While others are fun and games, about the mission. There's a lot of people that are busybody. As I'm gonna say, social media has become a scourge, even for many people who are religious, because they spend so much time on social media that often they're not about their father's business. Even people in ministry, they can spend so much time that they seem like they're doing ministry, but they're not really doing ministry. And I'm not into that because I have to take this to a mastery level. Meat for the belly and belly for meats, but God will destroy both of them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for the Lord for the body. So it's important. Not all things should be bring you under control. It might be okay to do. There people argue all kind of stuff, and I say, is it wrong to do this? No, not wrong to do this, but look, I'm striving for the mastery. I just can't do that type of stuff. That type of stuff will mess me up, slow me down. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 14 through 16 says, but if ye be reproached for the name of Christ, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of God rested upon you. And their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Yet, if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf. And so, again, going back to the thing, if you apply this again to people who are here, like on the TPS visa, these people are here because of disasters in their country. The ones that say came and got arrested for crimes and stuff like that, shame on them, because now you're going to be locked up and deported. So you gotta be like, and this is why they've shown statistically that immigrants normally do less crime, because you're more about, look at this, I'm here, I don't know, probably I die here, probably I grow old and die here, but at the end of the day, it's not my home, I'm just passing through, and most of the people here don't even see me as one of their own. So, hey, I'm just gonna be about my father's business, and not get busybody in other man's business, and don't worry about that, just take care of your business. And if you suffer, at least you'll suffer because you're Christian. Don't worry, somebody beat me up or persecute me and treat me bad not because I'm immoral. And I always thank the Lord for blessing me this way, that no matter where I was, at least from a moral point of view, I was immoral, but living a moral, upstanding lifestyle, that it was people better to be persecuted because people think you're too good or you're too right or whatever. But I'm glad for that. Notice here again, look at time. Yeah, let's see if we can do this in the time. So in Luke chapter 16, verse 1 through 2, we get some more encouragement here. But being serious, as I said, we're taking lessons. I take these lessons seriously when it comes on to people who are looking at what's going on and say they knew what was coming. Did they prepare? And if you and I know what is coming, we ought to get prepared. And some of us have multiple layers why we need to prepare. Just think about it. There's some places right now where there are people who are Christians that need to hear a message like this because they're Christians, right? And they're working and doing their thing. They're not being busybodies people business, but they even here illegally. And they need to be like, hey, look, you need to be stocking up and getting ready for the inevitable because these people are coming. They have lost their jobs and they want blood. They want your blood first. So you need to take care of your business because they say, look, you have their jobs and you need to give it up and make space for them. So you do your thing. First, Luke chapter 16, verse 1 says, and he also said unto his disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused to him that had wasted his goods. And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I hear of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayst be no longer steward. So this, you know the story, because the steward went ahead and just basically started messing about and mess with the money to basically have a fallback plan because he was done, basically, because he was caught. And Christ was really saying to the Pharisees that said, you guys are done, so you better have a fallback plan. So you got to know when your time is running out. I got to know that you have to have a fallback plan. I'm not telling you here to do wrong to have a fallback plan, but do something to have a fallback plan, because Christ commended the unjust steward and said he was wiser than these false Pharisees and Sadducees because they were done. You got to know when you're done. And you got to know that says you might not be done today. You have some time, but you got to start estimating how much time I have and what I need to do. How would I need to have my fallback plan? Because it's just a matter of time. So, people that say, you're good, you got enough, it's not time for you to go. I need your house. So it's important for you to know this. And make your plan. Work on your plan. Have your mission. Don't be like this unjust steward that you're going to be like, I know the master was going to come. He was going to ask me for stewardship. And I don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm going to do because I've been busy here having fun and wasting up the money. Don't do that. Christmas come. It's like the day after Christmas, there was no recycle for me to put out. Just want you to get that. No recycle. There's nothing there was no boxes or anything to put out. There was nothing. I had nothing to recycle. That was money not spent. Hope you understand that. John chapter 6, verse 65 through 69. And that's important for you to note. If you notice here, I do revive reform. And I really, logically, especially for those of you who listen and never donated, logically, it costs me and my church every month money to do this program. Not just to pay me, but to pay for the program, the equipment, all that. Logically, you understand that somebody's paying for you to be able to listen. And, some of you listen here, you listen for hours. All right? Hours and hours and hours. And so logically, somebody's paying for that. And I know you didn't ask me to do the radio station. That's on me and the people who support me. So you didn't ask me for a favor or anything like that. But logically, the logical thing, if you're about your father's business, I think it would be logical for you to say, man, I'm going to donate a little money to them for the appreciation of bringing me these programs and the cost that I pay for, all the things that I pay for to be able to do the program, all the programs. Nothing there except for some programs I download from like Amazing Facts and stuff like that. Almost everything else was bought with my personal money. So not only I'm have to make enough money, me and my wife money, to buy some of these things personally, but also my church members support on their own. And so logically, some of you would be like, yeah, you should be donating a little bit, even a little money, just to say, just to take away that thing from your conscience. And I'm receiving all of this from somebody else's dime. But whether or not you donate, this is part of our give back. See, because we're about our Father's business. And we go and take care of the business. And we're going to try to bless the people. Even the people who would think, well, you have no right to be in my country. But even them, we'll bless them. Because as I say with Christ, Christ was really the best for the Jews, but the Jews saw Christ as the enemy. And they saw the Pharisees as being the ones that were really for them. They got their things cross-wired. And that's part of the problem. Because I ran out of time, I realized. So I say that to close. Sometimes people don't know who is really blessing them, and they're supporting people who are really not blessing them. The people who are blessing them, they don't understand. If you support what we're doing here, you give us an opportunity not to eat the money, because we are about our business. We don't burn money. As I say, you will not come to my house and see recycles after Christmas. But we're very temperate in all things. But we don't burn your money. We're going to use your money to be able to bless you and bless others, so others can receive a blessing. Because that's our track record. We take from our personal to bless those. And so just something here, because somebody would say, oh no, it's all free and whatever. Ain't nothing free in this life. Every time I talk, I go hungry, I have to eat. I'm in a room right now with how much equipment around me, and the room is heated, it's at 70-something degrees and stuff like that. That's cost. That's hidden cost that you can't imagine. But we are willing to pay that cost to bless somebody, even somebody that would despise us. Still willing to bless, because that's what Christ says. He make the sun to rise on the just and the unjust. And I hope you can see that in your mind and say, I want to be part of that. I want to be part of what you guys do. And if you have to call me and I have to explain a little bit more to you, because I'm looking for people who are serious about their master's business. We close on that. It's a different closing than I planned. Our Father who art in heaven, I pray, dear Lord, you may be with us as we go through the rest of this day. May you bless us, dear Lord. That as we see all this stuff going on around us, and we see, dear Father, the constant push to make the rich richer and to oppress the poor, I pray, dear Lord, that we might be about our Father's business and your Father's business, to bless those, dear Lord, that in need of a blessing, to enlighten those who are in need of this enlightening, and that we might do all we can, dear Lord, to bless the poor, bless the less fortunate, and to bless and bring honor to your name. May you be with us, we pray, for Christ's sake. Amen. Thanks for being with me on Revive Form Radio. Looking forward to talking to you tomorrow morning, where we should talk about wisdom for living. Until then, I pray that you may continue to walk with the King.